What is going on, people? Today we are talking about the 2022 Indian Pursuit. Yeah, that's right. I got 10,000 miles on this. So coming up is going to be the 10,000 mile review, things I changed, things I love, things I actually love and hate, kind of weird, but that's what we're talking about in today's video. So 10,000 miles, but I'm telling you this, like I said before, I was gonna treat the Pursuit different than the Challenger, right? I'm doing things way different this time around, and I'm gonna promise you this, these next 10,000 miles aren't gonna be the same as these first 10,000 miles. Alrighty guys, the 2022 Indian Pursuit. I bought it back in September, first week of September. I'm happy to say that it is May 1st and I just cracked 10,000 miles on this. So as always, I like to be kind of like a cool little location, so check it out. It's an old Shell station. I really thought this would be different, a lot different than most times. You know, I've been at the top of mountains on the Challenger, and I've been just to the oceans. And this was just something really cool here in Salem, North Carolina. Yeah, but all right, let's get into a couple of the things. First of all, I want to explain, I owned the 2020 Indian Challenger and I put 37,000 miles on that bike. I loved that bike. So when the Pursuit was announced and dropped in 2022, I wasn't sure if I wanted it because I felt like I had it, right? And then I rode one. And that changed my perspective of what I thought it would be the same, but it's not. Having the trunk for convenience and having the hard lowers, I think they were obvious, right? It's obvious what a trunk's gonna provide to the table and what hard lowers are gonna do for wind protection. But what I didn't take into consideration was just some of the fine tuning. Everything just felt just a little bit tighter, just a little bit better. So you know what? I ended up pulling the trigger on the 2022 Pursuit, but I did that with one thing in mind, that I wasn't gonna be the same as my Challenger. So I purposely made the decision to do it different, right? And this is what we'll start off with first is the handlebars. The Challenger, I put 37,000 miles on stock bars. That's right from the factory, never changed it, stock bars. So I went and got the Indian miter bars. Not that I don't like the stock, they were fine. I will admit a couple of things about the miter bars. One is there's about two generations. One generation, the fitment's a little weird, so the clutch, the front brake's a little bit tilted up, just a little bit more than it should be. I actually have that one. It doesn't bother me. I still enjoy these bars. I thought that low speed maneuvers were much easier with the higher bars. I don't know if it's kind of a leverage thing or what that is, but the contrast to that is the high speed, the agility. It's not as snappy. It doesn't flick as easy or as much, even as the low bars, much less cornering, when you can kind of do like a push-pull if you're getting a little ultra aggressive. So that's one of the downfalls I noticed about the higher bars. Overall, looks-wise, I went with the miter. The nice sharp edges I thought went with the fairing really well. So stock, everything, no extended cables. It comes from Indian Motorcycle. Heated grips went right on, no problem. I did right away change the mirrors. I don't like the stock mirrors. I personally don't like how big and round they are. And I thought that these would be better. I had them on my Challenger. These ones I kept. I actually carried it over. So yeah, they've been great. I still love them. There's been some really cool mirrors I've seen recently that, you know, these might not be on for forever. Continuing on with the handlebar area, the phone mount, I actually have a Clockworks. People ask about phone mounts all the time. I have the Clockworks phone mount. I like it. Everything, it looks good. I did buy some other bolts and they kind of got rusty. So that's not Clockworks' fault. That's not Indian's fault. That's my fault for buying cheap bolts. So as we're looking around at this bike, the next thing that I changed, and this is something that I think maybe Indian motorcycles should take into consideration, but I changed the windshield, and I don't know of almost anybody that buys a stock Pursuit and likes the giant windshield. You know, Indian motorcycle has the electronic adjustable windshield, so it goes up or down about 4 inches or something, and it's almost like they forgot that. But even the tall guys that I know, they end up having to look through it a lot, where really, I think Indian motorcycle, the Pursuit should come with a lower windshield, and if somebody wants that big windshield to buy it, I personally have a Freedom Shield on here. I've worked with them from the beginning. I helped R&D for the Challenger, so I've continued to stay with them. I love my Freedom Shield. They do laser engraving, so I have my name in it, and you can't really beat that. I just really, really enjoy that. So talking about this, if you guys look here at my seat, you will see that this is not the stock seat for the Indian Pursuit. It's not the seat for the standard or the premium. This is the extended reach seat that I actually had on my Challenger too. I love this seat. It pushes me back about 1 inch more than the tour seats, and realistically, it maybe even drops you like 1/4 inch down. I'm very happy with this seat. The nice thing is Minnow, my girl, she likes the heated seat, so this seat comes off and on often, depending if I'm riding with Minnow or not. So that's one thing that I have had to, that I constantly, or I'm always changing. And as you see here, let's talk about this, what's missing, right? This is the Indian Pursuit. What is missing? The trunk is missing. Listen, the trunk is amazing, but I love the look of the Challenger. I love the look of this without the trunk. But this bike not having bag fillers, I did feel like it left something to be desired from the rear end. So when I got this, I felt like it really settled in and kind of like closed in that area. It doesn't look like it's something's missing. Also just a nice little finish. Minnow refuses to ride with that one. She wants just the trunk, so that's what she gets. So if you see the trunk and you see me, I'm probably either on a really, really big trip or Minnow's with me somewhere. The trunk though, I do want to talk about the trunk even though it's not here. Listen, you can put 2 full-size helmets on it. You can put a backpack with all your camera gear, your drone, your laptop, your the big cameras, GoPros. Ask me how I know. Listen, the trunk is amazing. The security of the trunk, the fact that when you go into the hotel room at night, you can close the trunk and you literally lock it and you know it's secure. You don't have to empty it out. It's the difference when I was on the Challenger. I used a Karaoke bag, and every night I'm lugging it in and lugging it out. No matter what I had in it, I had to take it with me. So having the security of the big trunk was beautiful. And one of the best things I feel about Indian motorcycles is that everything comes quick release. So other than the first time when you take it off, where you have to take some security screws in and out. After that, if you're doing around town ons and offs, you can have it off in about a minute or maybe even less. And then when you do go on giant trips where you don't know where you're going, you know the trunk's gonna stay on, you could put the security screws back in, and that's nice because then it is secure. People can't take it off without removing your side bags or your saddle bags. So the security of it's nice. Electric, it also adds an extra charging port. There is another plug in there to charge my phones and whatever, GoPros, cameras, whatever. This is a freaking super busy road. I hope my audio picks up. So let's talk a little bit more about, how about let's do something that I liked but it was okay or whatever. So the Pursuits come with a rear set of crash bars. If you look here, these are not crash bars that comes on Indian motorcycle. They are TLC. I like them because I think the lines are sharper. They now go with what I opinion, the fairing and also the bars that I put on here. Listen guys, the they look fine stock. The stock ones are fine. The quality is immaculate. I've never had an issue or even heard of an issue with a stock crash rear set of crash bars. I just aesthetically looked for these. I think the TLCs, they're great quality. I actually carried these over from the Challenger also. So you guys, there's a lot of things about this that one goes with the other. Let's talk about something I don't like at all, and that is also in this area, and it's 10,000 miles now. I still don't like it. All the Pursuits come with a foot pedal, not a foot peg. And I personally, I didn't love it at the beginning. It's 10,000 miles later, it's still there. I do not love it now. I promise you, next time I do a review on this bike, it will not be on there. I'm gonna go back to a foot peg, which is what the Challenger runs anyways. So it's gonna be a swap. I just gotta buy it. It's the only unfortunate thing about it is it's not like just an undo and do. You have to buy the whole arm and everything. That's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. That's gonna not be on there. But you know, I did the same dang thing with the Challenger. I had the heel shifter for like 10,000 miles before I finally took it off. I guess I'm trying to be fair, right? I tell somebody I don't really love it, 10,000 miles later, guess what? If I still don't love it, maybe it's time that I move on. The elephant in the room that you're looking is maybe the exhaust. I went with a Toce Performance 2-to-1. Listen, guys, I'm gonna be flat out honest with you guys. My personal opinion is that it is the best exhaust, sounds the best, aesthetically looks amazing. If you ask me why I went to an aftermarket exhaust, you guys, if you're asking that question, just stay stock. Because it's not about looks or sound, there's something more than that. By the way, performance, I gained performance with this. I have a lot of YouTube videos talking about the changes I made performance-wise so far, and dyno sheets and all the good stuff. So I always try to back up everything I do with facts. But I will tell you this, and I've said it from the beginning, even if I didn't gain any power, I would still rather have these pipes on than anybody else's. They look amazing and it sounds so freaking good that these pipes are incredible. The great thing about Toce is they have a really good blank side bag support, look stock. So I have nothing in the back here. It just looks sleek, it looks clean. It looks like if Indian Motorcycle were to do it, it'd be a lot like this. That is the truth. We still got a couple more things, guys. 10,000 miles, I've done it. I've been there. Should we talk about something? Let's talk about something that I changed, and then that will lead to something else. I did change the rotors. I went with the Galfer rotors. I think it was more to be different and looks. I really do believe that they look good. They look different, right? Everybody has the stock rotor, so I switched it up. I went with the front and the rear because if I wasn't matching, it would have been really tough for me. They bite a little bit harder. Are they significantly a better rotor and braking? I don't know. To be honest with you guys, I've never like 60 to 0, like a hard panic stop. I've never really done that. I do feel like there's an initial bite that's a little bit harder. It really starts to come down to with the rotors. Yeah, it comes down to looks and being different, I think. They do bite and they do look great. Overall, the brakes were great. This is that moment when I told you guys, when I had the Challenger and I bought the Pursuit, I told myself I was gonna do it different this time. Something like the rotors is part of that. The bars was part of that. I just wanted to be different. I wanted to do it differently, or I should have just kept the Challenger. I will say something that is a big game changer that this has that you can't see, and I just want to remind everybody, it does have the electronic adjustable shock. I personally love it. I can feel it move. I'm constantly adjusting to how I feel that day, where, to be honest with you, with the Indian Challenger and the manual adjust, I really adjusted it more on the stiff side, and then I just left it. That's just the truth. I did major adjustments if I was going 2 up on a long trip or anything like that, but overall, the electronic adjustable suspension is money. You can feel it working. It works great. I really do enjoy that. Something you guys can't see. It can be added to, I believe, any Challenger at this point. But yeah, that's a win. It really, really is a win. Let's talk about something I don't really like. Another thing, though, this one's weird, right? So this one is weird. It's a love and hate relationship. It's the hard lowers. Aesthetically and looks wise, I like it. I think it looks strong and mean. And it works. It works very well. I get all kinds of protection from the winds and the rains and the water, the debris. We don't even need to get into debris. It has done its job. It has saved my legs from water, has saved my legs from debris. But there's a negative to it, and I'll be honest with you guys. You feel every little bit of crosswind. It doesn't cut the wind like the Challenger without the lowers do. And also, there is so much wind deflection that you do get some heat on your legs from the exhaust. Some exhausts are worse than others. Personally, mine are not that bad. And if you just crack them just a little bit, you will see it helps. But yeah, it's really that like 3 o'clock wind or that 2 o'clock wind when you're going and you're just like, you really can feel the bike hitting it. Where in the Indian Challenger, I almost never felt that. I always felt like I was just slicing the wind. And a lot of times on the Challenger, I'd put my feet on the rear pegs and I just really sliced through it, felt good. This one, I do notice I'm a kind of counter leaning and stuff like that. So they're amazing. They work great. I like the way they look and they feel and all that. So that's the only negative thing, is it does grab the wind. So next up on this, I had the Indian Motorcycle Adaptive Headlight. Listen guys, this is one of those things where I don't know if I'm getting older or what, but I just felt like I needed it and wanted it brighter. That headlight works very well. I'm not saying anything negative about that, but I did switch to the Forever Rad LP6 Headlight. This sucker is a beast. And if a stock headlight was 0 and then the adaptive headlight was 100, this is probably on a scale to that 170. It is that much better. It is very crisp. I got the white one, but it's very crisp. It's very, very bright. It's very wide. It really lights up ditches really well. That's a benefit of lighting. When you're there, you want to be able to see, and you want to see everywhere, right? It's nothing against that. This is one of those moments I wanted to be a little different. This one did come with a heck of a performance bump to it also. So besides being different, the performance of the headlight is a lot better, I would say, especially over stock. It is better than the adaptive headlight, but yeah. Let's talk about a couple of things here that I've kind of starting to change my tune on. When I first rode this bike, and I still stand by this, the stock audio system, you can hear it. It sounds okay. I've started realizing this spring that I've been riding in a lot more wind. Last fall, apparently, when I did a lot of the riding, I didn't have a lot of headwinds. I do feel like maybe I'm getting older and my sight is going and my ears are going. I feel like when I have a headwind, it does get a little bit hard to hear. So you're gonna probably see going forward, I'm gonna do something with this audio. I am gonna upgrade it. At least I think I will. At the very, very, very least, I am gonna buy the speakers that go in the hard lowers that will shoot directly at me. I already actually have it. I have it all, I just need to like put it together. But for this video, I didn't do that. I'm also in North Carolina on the middle of a trip. You guys, so a little bit more about the motorcycle itself, other than just the fitments and the works of everything. Really guys, 10,000, I would say problem-free miles. They've all been great. In cold weather, she does throw some codes once in a while. And you know what, guys, honestly, a lot of times a cold start, I just turn it back off, turn it back on. You know, we just treat it like our computers. That's what they are. These are like C8 ECUs. They get a little crazy. So I just turn them off, turn them back on. I run them. The lights they've all been going away. I haven't had to do anything with it. So ride-wise, guys, it's the best performing bagger. It's the best tour bike being made at the moment. And I love this bike. I loved the Challenger. I love the Pursuit. I love how flexible it is with the trunk coming off, coming on. I can have a big tour bike. I can have a go-getter. I haven't had issues, guys. It's really hard, and I can't tell you guys enough that I just haven't had the issues. So 10,000 miles, but I'm telling you this, like I said before, I was gonna treat the Pursuit different than the Challenger, right? I did a lot with the Challenger, and I'm doing things way different this time around. And I'm gonna promise you this, these next 10,000 miles aren't gonna be the same as these first 10,000 miles. That I can promise you. And I really, really hope that you guys like and subscribe and see what I have going on, because I got some pretty good things planned. I got some big things, and I actually have, which is kind of weird, I have a bunch of little things planned right here for this Indian Pursuit. Guys, it couldn't be a better bike. I really don't have a lot of negative things to say about it. I'll tell you the one negative, the one thing that drives me crazy about every Indian motorcycle, and it's the sound of them starting. I don't know what it is, but it does not appease me. I don't love it as much, but man, the way they run is incredible. Oh yeah. So until next time, ride hard, ride fast. Say hi to somebody you don't know. Peace.